Well, some alarming news from the health department tonight. Most of the restaurants in Portland that have been inspected so far this year have failed. 4 had to be shut down in the past 2 months for problems that included mouse droppings and roach infestations. News 13's Jana Barnello joins us live from one of those restaurants. And Jana, Portland's pretty proud of its restaurant scene. What's going on here?
Well, Greg, there's definitely a lot of problems out there with some Portland restaurants, including the walk-in behind me on Forest Avenue. That's the most recent restaurant to shut down and reopen after failing a health inspection. But don't think that all the restaurants in Portland are run down, because what's happening right now is the city of Portland is focusing on 2 types of restaurants where they receive complaints and new restaurants.
I pretty much guarantee that we have one of the cleanest kitchens in Portland.
A bold statement from the owner of the restaurant, The Loft, Paul Maxwell. His restaurant had to close for a few days in October because, according to the health inspector, they had a roach infestation.
Not an infestation, because the word infestation means overcome by or taken over. So the choice of word was pouring, but I just understand she was doing her job.
And part of that job is inspecting new restaurants. Maxwell took over as the restaurant's owner in mid-October, and it's now up to code.
I talked to other owners, and it's a balance. You know, it's something that needs to be done, but a lot of restaurant owners feel like it's kind of unfair. How do you target the restaurant? Which target restaurant do you go to next? What's the procedure?
The city is working on that. With only 1 inspector for Portland's 800-plus restaurants, they're trying to hire another inspector right away.
We've only been focusing on new establishments and complaints. And so naturally, with that small sort of pool of inspections we're conducting, it would be reasonable to expect there would be a higher level of failure rates.
According to city records, 39 restaurants have failed inspections since the city hired its first health inspector last year. 10 have passed on the first try.
The food code's comprehensive, it's exhaustive, it covers a lot of things, and for a lot of restaurants, there have been changes, they may not necessarily know about something. We really look at the inspection as an opportunity to educate.
Maxwell is hoping both sides learn something.
If it's something that the city keeps up on and keeps the restaurants' codes up to date, then the restaurants have no choice but to follow it year to year.
And we spoke to some restaurant goers who say they're willing to go back to these places that have failed inspections as long as those problems get fixed. If you'd like to see any of the health inspections, we've got them posted on our website, WGME.com. Live in Portland, I'm Jana Barnello, News 13. Greg, back to you.
All right, important issues. Thanks very much, Jana. Well, the ticket sales keep rolling along, and the record-setting Powerball jackpot keeps growing. Of course, you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning than winning the Powerball, but where else can you turn $2 into $500,000, or I should say in this case, $500 million? I'm Marissa Bodner's live in Portland. And Marissa, that $500 million figure, that's already out today. What do we know about the jackpot? How high is it already tonight?
Well, right now we're up to $550 million, Greg. I've got my ticket right here. I only had to wait in line a few minutes for it. We're here at Moran's Market. There's really been a constant stream of people heading inside to buy tickets, and I have to say, from what I'm hearing, a lot of first-time players, people who've never picked numbers until now. They say the stakes are just too high. So at $550 million, this is the largest Powerball ever. It jumped by $50 million overnight, and it's expected to grow even more thanks to today's ticket sales. Regular players tell me they're buying up to 6 times the number of tickets they usually do. And whether you're rolling the dice with random numbers or you're playing strategically, everyone is dreaming about what they would do with $500 million.
Every single customer that comes in gets a Powerball ticket, and it drives me crazy.
I was going to say, is anyone not buying a Powerball?
No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's not. There's no way you can't. $550 million, that's a lot of money.
And that jackpot, as it stands, comes out to about $370 million after federal taxes. As you said, though, Greg, your odds not so great. Odds of winning 1 in 175 million. So not so great.
Well, as Adrian likes to say, so you're saying there's a chance. That's why a lot of people are daring to dream.
Exactly.
All right, Marissa, thanks so much. Live for us tonight. Well, investigators say that he impersonated a cop, forcing his victims to give him money after driving him to an ATM. Now police in Windham say they know who he is. Our Catherine Underwood is live at Windham Police Station tonight. Catherine, we are also learning that this man apparently has a criminal history.
Yeah, Greg, this man has been arrested before and he is wanted right now for a couple unrelated thefts and burglaries in central Maine. Now, Detective Raymond Williams tells us they have identified the accused impersonator, but they won't release his name until he is officially charged. So police are working on that arrest warrant as we speak. Now, they tell us that these surveillance photos and media reports generated leads that help them identify the suspect. As you can see in these pictures, the suspect is not wearing any law enforcement gear. Police say he didn't show a fake badge or even an ID. Now, Detective Williams says the victim in this case is an older gentleman who has certainly learned a lesson.
I think he's a little embarrassed that he was taken advantage of, and he realizes what's going on and he won't make that mistake again. People always need to be extra vigilant about what's going on around them and not, use a little common sense and don't be too trusting of people, and that's the best advice I can give.
Now, although this man does have a criminal history, police, for some reason, do not believe that he poses any kind of a threat to the public. Now, Detective Williams is inside here working on some paperwork. He is hopeful to get that arrest warrant from the DA by tomorrow morning. We're live in Windham tonight. Catherine Underwood, News 13. Greg, back to you.
All right, Catherine, thanks. Keep us posted on that. Well, a Lewiston woman who allegedly tried to set her boyfriend on fire is behind bars tonight. Police say they arrested this woman, 21-year-old Heather Coulson, around 7:15 last night after they say she led them on a high-speed chase that ended when police deployed spike mats in Poland. Coulson faces several charges in connection with the alleged chase and the attack. To Capitol Hill now, it's more trouble for President Obama's likely choice to be the next Secretary of State. Maine Senator Susan Collins spent part of the morning meeting with UN Ambassador Susan Rice. This is Collins walking into that meeting this morning. Rice met with Collins today, part of her effort to address concerns from GOP senators about the consulate attack in Benghazi, Libya, and the Obama administration's public comments about the attack in the days that followed. Now, the topic was the prominent role that Rice played, including at first denying any terrorist link to the attacks. Collins says she still has questions coming out of today's meeting, and at this point, she says she is not ready to back Rice as the Secretary of State candidate.
I would need to have additional information before I could support her nomination. She's not been posted yet. Our Homeland Security Committee investigation is ongoing. There are many different players in this, and there's much yet to be learned. So I think it would be premature for me to reach that judgment now.
Democrats continue to insist this is a search for a scandal where there is not one. The White House has given indications that Rice is the president's choice to replace Hillary Clinton after she leaves the post at some point in the near future. The industry made headlines throughout the summer, and today scientists from across New England are coming together for a symposium on lobster. Presenters at the event talked about several issues, including how changes in sea temperature have far-reaching impacts on this industry. A professor from the University of Maine says climate change is playing a role in the lobster fishery, especially in southern New England.
Lobsters are moving to deeper water where they find more comfortable conditions and higher oxygen levels. But that puts them a little bit out of the range of the normal fishing activity, so fishermen have to adapt to that. Now we're seeing increasing fishing activity further offshore.
He went on to say Maine has been lucky so far not seeing what he called a rampant shell disease that has hit southern New England.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Any leftover light snow and snow shower activity across the mid-coast will be moving out rather shortly. This little disturbance, that inverted trough we've been advertising for the last few days, well, it's still sitting across the mid-coast, but it will be slowly starting to break down. Areas like Bristol, I just got a report of snow covering the grassy surfaces there in some of the roadways. We scan a little bit closer to the Rockland area, heading over toward the Belfast region. We're seeing some steady light snow there as well. This will be moving out very shortly. Most areas are seeing just mostly cloudy skies in place. Those clouds will start to break up, and I expect mostly sunny skies to return tomorrow. Now, what's happening with the storm system? Well, the storm itself is way out in here, south of Nova Scotia. We just have that little inverted trough we've been advertising over the last few days, basically extending from the center of the storm storm all the way back right up into northern Maine. Very difficult to forecast these things and the exact position here, but this one's so far pretty well behaved, but just not a lot of snow associated with it. And further off to the west, I'm tracking a cold front. That cold front will introduce the coldest air of the season so far. That front is situated way up in here at this point into the northern plains. That cold air arrives on Friday. Friday, we struggle to get out of the 20s, and overnight lows Friday night into Saturday morning will be in the single numbers and teens. Probably teens at the coastline, single numbers for inland communities. Let's start tomorrow morning right around 7 o'clock. We're in the teens and lower 20s. Notice a few snow showers getting going in the mountains. Now that front moves through tomorrow night. The mountains will pick up a few inches of snow with this one, but downslope of the mountains, I think we just see a fair amount of clouds. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're already starting to see some clouds on the increase. Notice temps in the 30s. Mid to upper 30s tomorrow. Will feel colder than that just due to the fact that we have the wind gusty at times, gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, so wind chills will be colder. This is Storm Tracker around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. The reason I stop it here, the front is right in here. That front is going to sag to the south. There's the chance for a snow shower or snow squall. But Friday looks to be mostly sunny. The only problem with Friday, temps are going to be well below normal. Normal highs are in the 40s. Temps struggle to get out of the 20s on Friday. So notice the afternoon high temps during the prime heating of the day, mid to upper 20s, and the wind stays active that day as well. Okay, how much snow are we talking about tomorrow night to Friday morning? Well, in the mountains only, I expect a few inches of snow, particularly up near the Canadian border. Many areas here will get about 2 to 4 inches of snow, and some of the notches near the presidential range, slightly higher amounts. Central and northern Oxford, Franklin, Somerset County, a coating to as much as 2 inches of snow out of this one. That will be tomorrow night through Friday morning. Friday looks to be the coldest day of the season so far. Temps in the 20s by Friday night and Saturday morning. I expect temps mostly to be in the single numbers and teens. 10 degrees to start the day Saturday inland. Notice more clouds over the weekend with some rain showers moving in as we head into Sunday and Sunday night. Greg, we have a little bit of a warm-up in store, but not until Monday. Closer to 50 degrees that day. That will feel nice after the 30s and 20s for highs that we have over the next few days.
All right. I've always loved Mondays.
Yeah, isn't that the way it works,
Only when
right?
it's like this, I guess. All right, Charlie, thanks so much.